Welcome to Travel Chicks, where we talk travel, transformation, and inspiration. My name's Melissa. I'm the founder of Travel Chicks, and I want to let you know that it may be me, it may be one of our other travel chicks, but welcome on board this adventure. Please, if you love what you hear, like it, leave a review, and share this with your friends. We need to inspire more people to create their own travel story. Welcome back to another episode of Travel Talk, where we talk the latest in travel trends, industry news, and obviously we want to hope to inspire you to get on a plane and go travel. Today, I am thrilled to have Susie from the Los Cabos Tourism Board. Susie, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. So, the age-old question, which is an ever-changing, moving piece in, the planet of flying these days. Everybody wants to know, what is the latest current COVID protocols?
Yes, well, we have on our, I would love to first, say thank you for, your energy and enthusiasm for Los Cabos and travel in general, because right now the climate is incredible. People are traveling, people are excited. Things have been lifted as far as restrictions and whatnot. So in order to, provide a very detailed explanation, I would direct any listeners to our website, which is visitloscabos.travel. And on the homepage, you'll see a Los Cabos with care section and a COVID-19 section. And we have restrictions and requirements and protocols for US and for Canada on there. And there's very specific information and a really nice detailed Q&A. So everything is on our website. And so I'll defer any visitors straight away right to that page right there. They'll find very detailed information, which is helpful.
Okay. And obviously, I'm assuming that website or that page is updated very frequently.
It is. Okay. Yes, it is. We have a great team who updates that frequently because, as you know, things are changed daily in this climate. So we adapt accordingly. So yeah, it's a great resource, not only for that, but for any type of information about the destination. We have a PDF for arrival and departure procedures. We have info just reminding everyone to check with their airline, because airlines have different requirements sometimes for US or Canadian or in other international visitors. So.
Okay, awesome. As we've all seen in the last 4, 5, 6 months, travel has, especially in the States, they've been reaching numbers, through security and TSA. Some of the airports are even hitting as high of numbers as it was back in 2019, which is super exciting. And so when it comes to Cabo, what trends are you noticing with the tourists coming to the area?
Yes, it's so interesting because I was talking about this recently, but during COVID, we were receiving a lot of travel industry who were coming to survey the protocols and the health and safety in the destination. And it was incredible because they were seeing how safe it was, how many health and safety certifications that the destination has achieved. And they were coming back to the US and they were communicating what they experienced, which was nice because they were saying that they felt safer in Los Cabos than they did, in the States when they traveled. So it was nice to have that communication. And what we saw was that we saw a new market coming to Los Cabos, because we have certain markets that come 1, 2, 3, 4 times a year from the West Coast and other areas of the US. We have a lot of nonstops from the US. It's a very easy destination to get to, but what we saw was new markets developing to Los Cabos. And so we developed a new market an increase in arrivals. We had already surpassed 2019 numbers. It was interesting also during the pandemic, and I say during, but I feel like we're still in it a little bit. We
Yeah.
want to close that door, but it's still there. But we received in almost double of the private arrivals. We have two private airports, one in San Jose and one in Cabo San Lucas. And we saw a significant increase in private arrivals, people either taking their private jets or people
Or it's
contracting.
probably Canadians fleeing the
Getting
country.
away, sneaking off to Los Cabos for a little vacay. But it was interesting because people were, multi-gens, or, families were leasing or renting private jets and coming to Los Cabos just because, they wanted to avoid any crowds, or, just, minimize any safety risk. So, as far as COVID. So that was very interesting. But we've recuperated all of our flights to the destination, and now we're growing in flights. We just welcomed a nonstop direct flight from Madrid, Spain, to Los Cabos last month. And
Wow.
it's once a week. It's more than 400 seats. I think it's 432 seats once a week. So that's a seasonal, but it's amazing because these are new markets, and welcoming new markets to the destination. But the
Mm-hmm.
destination is constantly evolving,
Mm-hmm.
as we get new product and new development, new activities, new things coming to Los Cabos. It's constantly evolving, but very well managed. And in fact, our health and safety certifications on our website, I
Mm-hmm.
always talk about those during any type of presentation, because it just shows our commitment to keeping the health and safety protocols at the top priority, at the highest level. It will always remain that way. And when we received these certifications, and I'm talking about, like, we were the first in the world to get the Forbes Share Care Verified
Mm-hmm.
certification, and one of the first in the world to get the Travel and Tourism Council Safe Travels badge, and then from the regional, local, global, all the ecosystems of the health and safety certifications we have. But we constantly recertify the destination. So we're constantly recertifying with those health and safety protocols. And whether it's the destination or the hotel or the restaurant or the DMC or the activity provider or whatnot, they are constantly being audited in order to receive these certifications and to recertify themselves. So it's super safe. Everyone's very cognizant of that. This is the main thing that is focused on in the destination.
And
So.
for the listeners that may not know, can you explain what the Forbes certification is?
Yes, it's a process that was developed, and we worked closely with Forbes Travel Guide, and it's a certification of health and safety protocols. And whether it's focused on the resorts or any type of business doing business in Los Cabos, they go through a rigorous audits, whether they have to be inspected in person or through a terminal of audits. Some can be as many as over 400 types of audits, to achieve a certification. So they're very rigorous programs that are developed specifically throughout the hotel or throughout any type of business to cover all the way around as far as health and safety. So when
Mhm.
the business displays that certification or that symbol at check-in or wherever they may see it, they'll know that the hotel or whatever business they're visiting, that they've gone through a very rigorous process to achieve that. So they can feel rest assured that it's well cared for where they're visiting.
Mhm. And that leads me to one of my other questions. Lots of people may, especially in Canada, may have not ever been to the area. And so, what would you say is some top sites, attractions, must sees, things to do?
Hmm. Absolutely. I think for a first time visitor to Los Cabos, the number one must is a visit to the Arch. So the Arch is where it's the furthest most southernest point or most southern point of the Baja Peninsula.
Hmm.
So if you're looking at a map of Baja, there's Baja California and there's Baja California Sur, and we're located in the state of Baja California Sur at the tip of the peninsula. And that arch, it's called the Arch at Land's End,
Hmm.
and it's or otherwise El Arco. But a visit to the arch is a must. It's so beautiful in person. It's very awe-inspiring, and I recommend, a day of sailing to go out there to look at the arch and do some snorkeling, stand-up paddleboarding, and or if they want to do a sunset sail,
Hmm.
and they can do a sunset sail right around the arch, and then it's something really spectacular when the sun goes down in Los Cabos because you get a little bit of the sunset, sunrise and sunset there.
Hmm.
Uh, the way that the sun highlights the arch is something that you don't want to miss. It is spectacular. And getting a little off topic there, but there is a restaurant called Sunset Mona Lisa, and
Hmm.
it's in the Cabo San Lucas area, and it's on some rocks, and it's one of the most romantic places in Los Cabos, and it is a spectacular place to watch the sunset. And you see the arch. They've got these conch players. They're blowing the conches, and and it's just like this incredible scene. So that's one thing that I
Hmm.
would highly recommend is to see the arch. Another thing is if you're visiting December through end of March, it's whale watching season. And this is one of the most spectacular things that I've ever experienced in the destination, or I think wherever I've traveled.
Hmm.
Um, when you do it, it's so much different than just saying whale watching. When you go out there, you're part of the ocean, you're part of their environment. And the last time I went out there were these pods of dolphins chasing the boat when we were going out to the area where the whales were. And it was so simple and so beautiful and so natural. And it was like, I just get the chills from head to toe thinking about it because it's so beautiful. And, you kind of become more aware of life and your surroundings and what's important in life. And it really, it really asks you to reflect on your life when you see these, majestic creatures. They're swimming around, a lot of them, the mamas with their babies. And so they're
Wow.
playing, and you get to be a part of it. You get to witness something so natural and so beautiful. So I think that would be the number two thing I would recommend. And then there's so many things to do in Los Cabos. I mean, before the pandemic, I'd say we would have a normal, like 4 night stay would be like a typical night stay in Los Cabos, but it's
Hmm.
increased to about 6 nights. So people are spending longer times in Los Cabos because there's so much to do. And the hotel product is incredible. And what they offer at the hotels, as far as experiences, at the hotel is incredible. But in addition to what's offered at the hotels, to go off property and do some activities and see the towns and go to some, day trips and things like that, it's unbelievable what you can see there. And it makes for such a well-rounded vacation.
Hmm.
Yes.
Now, for the people who have never been there before,
Mhm.
one of the icons is like Hotel California. And is that a far drive? Is it a safe drive? Is it, if somebody has never rented a car in an international destination, like would
Yes.
you recommend that?
I would. If they wanted to go see Hotel California, that's on the Pacific side. And so if someone is staying in Cabo San Lucas, it's about a 45-minute drive north. It's not too far in the grand scheme of things. Takes me 45 minutes to get to my office from my house sometimes. So it goes like that. It's a really nice
Mhm.
day trip, and you can spend a few hours over there. It's a very cute iconic hotel. It's bright orange. You can't miss it. They have a nice restaurant and lots of shopping over there. But in Todos Santos is where it's located, and it's a great day trip. There's a lot of artisans. There's beautiful old churches and missions over there, and there's some organic farms. There's a new oyster bar over there. It's really nice. Such a natural type of life over there.
Mhm.
I'd say in the Baja in general, it's similar all around. It's a very laid back type of feel. You have the Baja vibe, and in that area, it's definitely worth a visit. We have some organic farms in San Jose del Cabo, in this general area, just close by to the town of San Jose del Cabo, and the plaza. So it's probably like a 10-minute drive over to those organic farms. But that's another, can't miss, is the organic farms, because on some of these farms, you can have a tour of all of the things that they're planting and growing and harvesting. You get
Mhm.
to go through a tour to see what they've got there. They've got plants, trees, lots of things to explore. And then you can go back over to where the area is where they have a big palapa, an outdoor palapa, and you can do a cooking lesson. And so you'll take what you've just picked and you'll go and you'll learn how to make your lunch or dinner, and then you'll sit
Mhm.
down and have a nice farm to table dinner or lunch. And I think every fam trip that I've taken everyone to the farm, and they're just in awe, because you go over to the farm via like a little dirt road, and then you get there and it's like this hidden oasis, but they've been there for so long. But they're welcoming guests and locals and visitors, and some have some live music. I mean, it's a vibe that is just replenishing, and it's just wellness, I mean, at its
Mhm.
peak.
And that's what we're noticing too with a lot of our clients and trip taking, tourist Canadians. It's this really big focus. Well, number one, on connection, because people have been craving human to human interaction. So
Yeah.
they're getting groups together and they're really focusing on that whole idea of recovery, retreat, wellness, and what destinations can provide us this. And Cabo
Yeah.
keeps coming up all the time.
Hmm. It is. I mean, I have seen some of the most incredible offerings, not only at the hotels, but I do want to point out, I mean, there's things that you can do to recover in Los Cabos, as far as, even cancer recovery. There's some therapists in the hotel spas that specialize in cancer recovery. So, I mean, that's just a tidbit of what the offerings are. But you can spend a day with so many choices on whether it's light therapy or, elemental therapies, like the sand, the wind, the sun, the fire, like any type of that type of, or chakras. I mean, it is spectacular. If you even spend a moment looking at any of the hotel's spa offerings, it's a lot to choose from.
Yep.
And so whatever is going on with somebody, they can be assured that they can put together something that would help, cure what they're, looking to cure,
Mm-hmm.
or at least, alleviate some of what's going on. I mean, who couldn't use that? We could all use that, right?
Yeah.
So I think
There's
even,
mental
yeah,
health crisis happening
exactly.
everywhere right now.
Yeah, and that is definitely one of the trends, is wellness. I mean, I know we're touching on that, some of the trends. Absolutely. Wellness. I mean, I think, we talk about adult travel to Los Cabos, but I personally have three teenagers who also were in that, everyone was in the pandemic. So,
Mhm.
and we have to take care of our families. And I saw, the biggest challenge with the teenagers and the kids. I mean, for their mental health. I mean, personally, I was taking my kids to Los Cabos and I was splurging on activities,
Yeah.
ones that I didn't even think that I would ever do, um, like parasailing. I never thought I would parasail. And then here I was going up into the air, and it was one of the most amazing things I have ever experienced. And I myself was like, not for me. But then, my kids were like, yeah, we want to do it. And so I said, okay, I'll do it. But it's
Hmm.
kind of like you're this drone going up into the air. And, Los Cabos is so safe. It's so, it's a smaller destination. It's very well managed. And, and our experience was amazing. But we did splurge on activities, specifically because I wanted to get there. I needed for them to feel like they were getting out some heavy stress.
Yeah.
So we jet skied, we parasailed, we zip lined, we went to the organic farms, we did a cooking class. And with teenagers, you never know what's going to hit, but I took him to the organic farms and we did the same thing. We took a tour of the farm. We did the cooking class. We ate the lunch. Actually, it was dinner what we did,
Hmm.
and they loved it. It was one of their favorite things that they ever did. And
Yeah.
so, presenting any type of experience, and listening to other people, how what they thought of it and how they experienced is important too. But I'd say, go out of your comfort zone, because there is the whole world opened up to you now.
Hmm.
And people are taking a look at their mental health and saying this is really, the most important thing right now. So we need to
A
treat
hundred
ourselves.
percent. And that is like one thing that we really focus on here at Travel Chicks. It's inspiration and motivation. But not only that, you got to take care of yourself. And there is no better way than to
Yeah,
travel, because it
exactly.
really allows you to tap into experiences you never did before. It allows you to tap into cultures you never knew about before, and then experience how other people live. And so I just want to say thank you, Susie. Thank you for sharing all this insight for our wonderful
Absolutely.
listeners. And guys, we do have a few upcoming trips you definitely may want to check out. Heading off to Cabo, we're going to create some really cool experiences for you and obviously your mental health. And again, Susie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. And I hope to see everyone. Hope to see you in Los Cabos.